Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day. As always, likes, comments, and subscribes are appreciated as they do help with the algorithm. Very big thank you to all the new Patreon supporters and to everyone who is a clicker of affiliate links. I do thank thee. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. At the moment, the cryptocurrency market is actually in green. It says Bitcoin price spikes above $35,000. Here's what Bitcoin whales are up to now. Can you guess what Bitcoin whales have been doing as the price of Bitcoin fell down? It's what they're always doing. They're constantly buying up more and more Bitcoin. It says Bitcoin and Ethereum inch higher. Cosmos jumps as well. There are a number of altcoins, and I'm not exactly sure why mathematically they're at this point. A number of altcoins are up by exactly anywhere from 6 to 12% across the board. It looks very weird when you look at it. I think Bitcoin is currently up around 2 or 3%, same exact thing with Ethereum. But many other altcoins have done this exact spike, which isn't a bad thing. It's just a little weird to see the math be behind it. It says technical analysis, Bitcoin starts recovery. Why $38,000 is the key for reversal. We typically hear all the time, consistently, that whenever Bitcoin is falling and or moving up, there's usually a number that we have to hit in order for the movement to actually go a lot higher. If you remember, even is no more than 4 or 5 weeks ago, we also had news that $38,000 was the key. I don't forget so easily that we were also just this low a couple of weeks ago and then actually moved back up. So now the numbers are, I'm going to psychic it. It's $38,000, and then it's going to be $40,000, and then $42,000 as it was the previous time before, which we ended up hitting, and then it went up to $45,000, and then from there, this is where we were having the discussions at $45,000 Bitcoin of us going to a $55,000 and a $60,000 Bitcoin. I believe that. Now, here's a bit of, I don't want to say troubling news, but it's kind of troubling news. Stocks have also begun to move a little bit higher. The troubling news is it appears that there is a definite correlation between the cryptocurrency market and or the price of Bitcoin to the prices of the stock market. It has been widely believed and speculated, especially for the last 4 to 5 years, that there was little to no correlation between the stock markets around the world, the price of Bitcoin, and many other assets. But at least over the last 2 years, as stock markets have fallen around the world, so has Bitcoin. And when stock markets tend to rise or move back up, especially after the Federal Reserve has said something, Bitcoin tends to also move back up as well. So the silver lining is, if it appears that the stock market continues to move upward or does well, maybe the cryptocurrency market will do the same. There's a lot of news, as you might have imagined, about the drop in the prices of the cryptocurrency market, where things appear to be going next, or exactly how high Bitcoin could recover in the coming days. I will tell you this. If you have not been paying attention to the news, I totally get it, because the news can be quite depressing sometimes. I would ask that you at least pay attention to what's currently happening in the news between one rather large country that sits above China, and what is currently taking place there, because that is, I assume, going to continue to actually rattle world markets because of current trends. And we may then, just giving you complete honesty here, probably see a move down in the prices of the cryptocurrency market. I've seen a lot of other, not a lot, other cryptocurrency YouTube channels. I try to check in every now and again to see what they're talking about. And a lot of it really still is just complete hype. I think no one really talks about the actual macroeconomic events or things that are actually taking place. It's more of a like, hey, look at this chart. It looks like we're going to be going up, and usually the price ends up going down. So the stock market's slowly moving back up. However, the thing I just told you about is also prominently in the news. Yeah, if you actually look at the screen right now, not if you're driving or holding a baby, on the right side of the screen, it says most popular news, number 3. All right. Yeah, from that topic, let's move on. Also in the news, I'm not sure who this person is or who this wallet is. This person has been in the news 5 times over the last couple of weeks. The third largest Bitcoin whale has continued to accumulate Bitcoin. Why this particular whale in particular is constantly in the news, I'm not really exactly sure. It says the third largest Bitcoin whale now holds more Bitcoin than MicroStrategy, adds $18 million worth of Bitcoin amid the crash. It says all the times that we've spoken about him. I'll scroll down so you can kind of see a little bit better here. Yeah, MicroStrategy holds an enormous amount of Bitcoin. It's like 124, 125, 6, 7, $8,000. I mean, 1,000 Bitcoin. And this person has now surpassed them. So that's why the first article, when it was like, what are whales doing? I was like, well, we can only assume and probably know just from logic what whales are doing. If this is your first rodeo, your first run around, your first go at the cryptocurrency market, traditionally, it's like a Christmas tradition here. Every single time that the market dips, falls down, the whales, as they are called, buy huge amounts of Bitcoin every single time. Even as prices continue to fall, there was also news of some other prominent investor who's talking about he's going to continue buying because he believes in Bitcoin. And I'm like, well, that's absolutely wonderful. I'm happy for you and your bank account. Also, to finish off all the price news, there were, for some reason, a very large amount of very wealthy people who have continued to announce that despite the drop in prices, as it says on the screen, Bitcoin is still in a long-term bull trend, and or announcing that not only is Bitcoin in a bull trend, but it's going to recover, it's going to reach new all-time highs. The $100,000 thing continues to pop up over and over. Allegedly, we will exit the bull market trend if we, I believe, dip below $28,000. I think that's really like the bottom of the bottom of the bottom of the bottom. Like that is really the point of no return. However, if we continue on a bit of an uptrend or try to move back from whence we came, therefore the bull trend run is still intact. And then on top of that, it says crypto is happening despite the crash. This was said by former Goldman Sachs CEO. Even though the digital asset market has plunged significantly, Blankfein stated that crypto is happening. The former chief executive officer of Goldman Sachs, Lloyd Blankfein, opined that the ecosystem surrounding cryptocurrencies has evolved in the past year. As such, he raised hopes that the digital asset industry is happening despite the recent price crash. You might remember this person, amongst many of the other ones, because this keeps happening over and over as well. This happens every single time. And until it does not happen, we will then continue to cover this news. This person did not care for crypto at one point in time. He thought it was terrible. He thought it was useless. He thought Bitcoin was a sham, scam, flam, bam, thank you, ma'am, all those kinds of things. And then lo and behold, now he's like, well, I may have some Bitcoin, and Bitcoin may not be the worst thing in the entire world. The same as every other banker who has been out there before. You can't really blame them because, if they are looking at current trends, they probably understand where Bitcoin is actually going. But now we have another person who once again did not care for our market and was quite vocal about it. And I always think that it's fascinating that these people take the time out of their years of their lives to talk negatively about Bitcoin, only to then be like, no, it's fine. I also happen to own some Bitcoin, if you did not know. So, yeah. Anyway, it says optimism during the crash. That's all the price news. Kind of a bit all over the place. The cryptocurrency market's going back up. Stocks are also recovering. However, current events may stop that trend. And yeah, rich people are still not only buying up tons of cryptocurrencies, but are telling us exactly how great they think it is that Bitcoin exists, despite its price falling. Yeah, that's all the price news. And without further ado, let's move on. Next up, in one of the most popular news stories of the day, and the Ethereum Foundation, following the lead of the blockchain core developers, has announced that the term Ethereum 2.0 is being retired in favor of the term consensus layer. The rebrand reflects the fact that what's being called Ethereum 2.0 is really more of a network upgrade rather than a whole new network. To be sure, some major things are still set to change. Ethereum is shifting away from proof of work to proof of chain. Proof of stake, there we go. I was like, proof of chain. And mining, in which high-powered computers connected to the network compete to validate transactions, so they might make new Ether, blah, 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 blah. But some elements of the current network, mainly at the software client level, are being retained and merged, thus the merge with newer components. Wow. Henceforth, Ethereum 1 will also be known as the execution layer, and ETH 2 will be the consensus layer, whereas the execution layer is where all the smart contracts and the network rules reside. The consensus layer makes sure all the devices contributing to the network are acting in line with rules and penalizing those that don't. So, the major news of the day is the Ethereum people have decided to drop the term Ethereum 2.0, and everyone is now supposed to say consensus layer. Hey, are you guys using consensus layer? No, that sounds absolutely ridiculous, and not one single person is going to do it. For those of you who did not know, I've mentioned this before. If you're new to the channel, hello. Ethereum 2.0 has been a term since the beginning of 2017. Like that, it was literally known as, when Ethereum upgrades, it's going to be Ethereum 2.0. When that upgrade upgrades, it's going to be known as Ethereum 3.0. The fact that they're trying to tell people to not say the thing that they've been saying for a very long time, it's kind of like, have you watched, you must have, any recent news, any videos anywhere where someone's talking about Meta, but they have to say Facebook first because it's been known as Facebook since like 2005. Anyway, so yeah, the major popular news is that they're trying to get away from the term Ethereum 2.0. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm still going to be calling it Ethereum 2.0 because me saying consensus layer to you means absolutely nothing. Because earlier, consensus layer actually fell by around 4%, but then execution layer actually went up by 5%, which was actually really cool for my portfolio. No, it doesn't have the same ring to it. It's going to be Ethereum forever, and when the upgrade merge connection blah 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 does happen, it'll still be known as Ethereum 2.0 to me and billions of other people. Anyway, so that's the Ethereum people are for some reason trying to rebrand, and consensus layer? No, stop it. Anyway, that's the Ethereum's trying news. And yeah, let's move on. Also, for some reason, really in the news, and I haven't figured out the grand puzzle yet, a lot of cryptocurrency news websites continue to constantly talk about central bank digital currencies, almost in like a good sort of way, if you will. Sure. It says stablecoins will continue to be used more frequently in various transactions, while the U.S. will launch a central bank digital currency by at least the year 2030. This was said by Bank of America, although U.S. authorities continue to dabble with the idea of issuing their own central bank digital currency. The Bank of America believes such a product is inevitable. Additionally, researchers from the large banking organization see stablecoins continue to flourish and take a massive role in the monetary system. I really, so I'll give you my thoughts. I had assumed for a very long time that a large number of people who are writing these articles or in the cryptocurrency space understood the atrocity, I don't know, of exactly how bad central bank digital currencies are. But every single day, this is one day out of hundreds that I've been doing, thousands, doing this channel. There's central bank digital currency news every single day. And it's not just this website. It's usually across the entirety of the board. And it's always something like positive or optimistic about it. There was a lot of news even no more than 3 weeks ago about China and their central bank digital currency and how, what were the articles? Like, it was something along the lines of millions of people are now using their CBDC and people are getting discounts for it and it looks so great. And I'm like, you understand what it means for control of people and of a society when someone does things like this, right? So the news being, we've had news since 2018 that it looked like the United States was gearing up for, by the year 2022, 2023, to launch their own digital central bank digital currency kind of thing. Apparently, Bank of America has some type of insider information that we simply don't know about, and apparently the year is now 2030. Sure, go for it. It is actually inevitable. These things will eventually happen as the world continues to digitize more. But should anyone actually care? No, I told you all before. These are just digital versions of the paper money that you may still actually be using right now. No one rarely actually pays in paper money. I have a friend, one, who prefers to pay in cash, but she's also really funny. Ironically enough, she wants to be more anonymous, so therefore she pays in cash as there's no tracing of it. But yeah, besides that, everyone's tapping their phones or swiping their cards. So anyway, yeah. This was also quite big across the entirety of the cryptocurrency news space. For some reason, central bank digital currencies really gets these writers going, and I'm not exactly sure why. These are going to be terrible. As far as like control and surveillance, they're not going to be great for anyone out there, but that's at least my opinion. Alrighty, that's the CBDC news. And yeah, let's move on. So I tried to get away from this for the last 3 days, as this has been prominently in the news. I decided not to cover it early on because this news isn't new. Much like their neighbors, India, China, and there's 2 other countries, there's been this really weird back and forth over the course of a 5-year period as to a yay, nay, 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 yay, nay, 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 nay kind of thing within the news, as far as them discussing stopping cryptocurrency transactions, banning cryptocurrency, stopping the usage of cryptocurrencies. And I didn't think that, and I still do not think that this should be important to anyone actually inside the cryptocurrency community. I think this will be a bit of a detriment to people who are living in those spaces who do not have proper access to the brand new financial economy. But alas, everyone else, this should not really be affecting them in any type of way. And I do quote, "The Central Bank of Russia is allegedly considering a ban on all crypto activities, including transactions and mining. If it goes through, Russia will become the next in what appears to be a string of countries that have taken on a very anti-crypto attitude as of late." No, this has been around for a very long time. I don't know how long this person has been in the cryptocurrency market who wrote this article. Bless your heart. This has been happening since 2017. The idea was in 2014, 15, and 16 that cryptocurrencies were simply this willy-nilly thing. No one was going to be using them. It was simply a trend that was currently happening, yada, yada, yada. By the time we got to 2017 and Bitcoin was, what was it, $800 or something like that, and then skyrocketed to $20,000, it opened up this portal if you will, for people to be able to see and have an idea of exactly how high Bitcoin could go. 2017 was the first time that we had other banks really looking into it, or so they say, and starting to give proper price predictions of exactly how high Bitcoin could go, or would go, or needed to go to be able to actually push aside the US dollar. That's where we get that really famous $250,000 price prediction from that Swiss bank. I don't remember the name of the Swiss bank, saying that if Bitcoin reached $250,000, it would be then large enough to actually usurp the US dollar in some sort of way. This was around the time where a number of countries, nearly 15, that's not an over-exaggeration, by the very end of 2017, after we had the Bitcoin futures launch in America, which was meant to actually bring down the price of Bitcoin, which it actually did. The beginning of 2018, a huge number of countries came forward talking about banning crypto advertisements. This was when Facebook, Google, and 2 other major companies had banned any type of cryptocurrency ads anywhere on their platform. It was just a, huge sweep. We can't have this happening. It's because news leaked to us that allegedly many countries were very uncomfortable with the idea that they not only could not print Bitcoin at will, i.e., Bitcoin only has 21 million. I want to print 50 million. They could not do that. They had no control over the network, or actually who was using the network within their country. That was the most important part. It always has to do with control. No matter what you think, it's always money and control. We don't control the supply of money. We are therefore losing power. We don't control the citizens trying to use this new form of money. Therefore, we are going to lose some form of power. And this is where all the news of bans begin to really pop up consistently every single day. It is believed that this was attributed to, in some sort of way, the actual fall in prices of the cryptocurrency market at the beginning of 2018, because realistically, if you have 15 different countries talking about a potential ban on crypto, it's going to spook the market. This is also around the time where people were asking the US government, hey, can you give us some type of regulatory clarity? The US government said, sure, we'll have it by the end of 2018. And this is why we're still having problems within the United States when it comes to the cryptocurrency market, because people have been asking for regulations since that time. Ripple being the first company, which is kind of weird that they had their neck stepped on when it was them and the Gemini twins who came forward really asking, hey, we need regulation, please give it to us. That was also around the same exact time where the SEC came out to declare one day that Bitcoin was not a security, and therefore the US SEC had no jurisdiction over it, and also that that Ethereum was also not a security and therefore was labeled as a commodity, etc., etc. Had to give you the entire history because a lot of times this news comes out and I think it scares people. They go, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening. This has been happening for at least 5 years at this point. So the news is that apparently, allegedly, this country looks like they're thinking about potentially trying to ban cryptocurrencies. Once again, in the grand scheme of things, this doesn't actually matter. We saw the largest country who was the largest miner of Bitcoin shut the entire operation down. And what I told you would happen did happen. People simply got on a train, got on a plane, unplugged their systems, and moved somewhere else. This is why when we talk about the Bitcoin hash rate recovering, why it's so significant, because you can tell that people are still interested in the network and will continue to do what they're doing, regardless of what they might actually be saying. So this has been quite, like I said, over the last 3 days. I have not paid attention to it, but apparently it's still an ongoing thing. I don't think any of you should be worried about this in any form or capacity. I mean, if you have any type of worry in your head about this. If this does end up going through, people who are in the industry, it will be a bummer for them for a good month or two as they figure out where to go and they scramble to unplug their machines. 3 months later, this will no longer be in the news. We will have forgotten about it. And I told you before, I read those articles a couple of years ago where it was discussing that at the beginning of the advent of usage of the internet, around 2001, 2002, there were a number of countries who were thinking of banning and or not using the internet because they saw it as a complete waste. No one's going to be using the internet. We don't need this within our country because it also has to do with control. And the article was saying, imagine if these countries had never adopted the internet. Where would they be right now? They'd be somewhere in the actual Stone Age. The actual idea of a number of countries wanting to also ban the internet. If you ever read the news, follow the news, watch documentaries. They're really, really good for you. There are a number of countries who have banned cryptocurrencies already that we've spoken about together. These countries actually have their own internet, if you've paid attention as well. This is why the internet ban did not take place within these countries, but you still cannot use certain websites, certain platforms. And at some times, there are instances where people who are in offices are actually able to either unplug said internet and or walk up to a red button and hit it and it goes off. So this is clearly what's taking place here right now. And this is why the news of one other place that has banned cryptocurrencies is simply creating their own central bank digital currency that's going to be working within their ecosystem. It's just a 2.0 of the advent of the internet. And to be completely clear with this, for those of you looking and or not looking at the screen, it says, suddenly Russia plans to ban cryptocurrency sales to ordinary people. This is an article from 2017. I told you this has been happening for a very long time. This isn't anything brand new. That's why a lot of times when this news makes it into the headlines again, I'm like, I assume it's a very old article, or I don't really know. I think a huge portion of this, my opinion, is being done because, of course, of control. But I think that other countries think that they'll have some type of a massive influence on the prices of the cryptocurrency market. Do you remember last year where we had news every 6-7 weeks that apparently India was trying to ban crypto? And I was like, this doesn't matter. Because if a country really wants to ban something, you all live in a country. You know how the people who run these places are. If they want to ban something, it is simply banned. There's no actual discussion of it. And also this article, I've mentioned this many times before, and I was actually shocked this morning when I found the exact article that I was talking about. It says, suddenly Russia plans to ban cryptocurrency sales to ordinary people. This was a really big thing. And I think people kind of look over when news like this takes place. They were planning on not even explicitly banning crypto in the first go around. It was more so, if you are too poor, you cannot own crypto. And I remember making that video, sitting there like, who says something like that? It was meant to only be for accredited investors, meaning if you could prove that you had several hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars liquid in your bank account and or held huge amounts of assets, you could get into the cryptocurrency market. If you did not, you were not able to touch cryptocurrencies at all. So as you see, the trend has only continued to where we currently are. Anyway, yeah, quite popular news, if I can say that. If they're going to ban it, please do it so you can get out of our news, because it makes no sense to have to constantly discuss these things over and over. I said the same exact thing for India as well. At the end of last year, they were like, hey, we're going to talk about it in the winter session. And then I was like, don't hold your breath. And I'm sure there's one person who still blew in the face. It's all about control. It's all about money. And that's all that I'm going to say about that. Anyway, that's that news. And without further ado, let's move on. And to finish things off, in one of the, and I mean, this actually took over the Ethereum 2.0 rebranding stupid name news. This was incredibly popular today. Apparently, as far as I can tell, there is something. Okay. So apparently Cardano is having a problem with SundaeSwap and something called Card Starter, and everyone is abuzz about this news. It says the issues began in April When accelerator program CardStarter announced that it would launch its own DEX, or decentralized exchange, shortly thereafter, its founders incentivized investors to provide liquidity for the project on Uniswap in exchange for CSwap tokens. Fun. The platform's developers landed an agreement with a third-party decentralized exchange called SundaeSwap sometime later, marking the deal as a merger last June. As per the agreement, CardStarter would no longer develop its promised decentralized exchange and would instead provide liquidity to SundaeSwap, which is now Cardano's decentralized exchange. Apparently, somewhere along the way, someone didn't get any money, or money wasn't given to the actual people, because apparently it was promised, so saith here. It says investors were later promised great benefits during a YouTube Ask Me Anything session for CSwap holders. And as I am currently becoming aware of, this did not take place. And now people are on social media blaming each other back and forth and all this other stuff. Why this is super popular news? I think it's because the word Cardano's there and ADA keeps popping up around over and over. So therefore, people, I assume, think that this has something to do with their ADA and all this other stuff. All I can say is, please, if you are at any point able to do so, just always make sure that you know where you're putting your money. Not everything that's new or flashy or that sounds nice really is necessary for you to have your money inside of it. There was recently a YouTube video with Charles Hoskinson who basically said, get it together. There's a word on the screen. I cannot say it. It sounds like hit, but there's a letter in front of it. Because, yeah, so not really much more to say, but this was incredibly popular news. Oh boy, it's kind of like the other day where we went over that Bitcoin holder. They lost like $16 million because someone told them that they were the head of a major company and they could double their Bitcoin, so they sent them $16 million. What's the phrase? If it sounds like a duck and walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, then it's probably a duck. So yeah, that's the apparently SundaeSwap and CardStarter are fighting over nonsense news. I don't know. All right, let's move on. As always, a very special thank you to my Patreon supporters. Professor Wally from Gunbot University, how's life, Austin? I never know if that's a question. I mean, it has to be a question. Like, there has to be a question mark after that. How's life, Austin? How's life, Austin? No. It's always a question. Jamie Saad, Blockchain Simplified. And let's move on. Chris, Hakeem Wilkins, Empire Queen, Stake It With Valor, FUDWISER, Mortified. Roman Geba, Bitcoin Ben, Arachno Dave, Tony Ambroski, The Dealer's Den, Red Plump Tomato, Umnu, Wish Nikki, The Letter M, Not Brain, Captain Something in the Z-Way, Lay Crypto, Black Sheep, AJ Cut 5, Speedy 655, and Carlos Was Like, Mo Barazi, Jojo Shaw Show, VB Nerd 21, Miguel Grollet, Lauren De Silva, Quoted Biddy, Bare Bones Mining, Troy Allgood, Space Case Need a Miracle, Paternoster, Conan, Don't Skip Leg Day, Snacky Chan, Tolik Banana, Auspicious Agile, and Blockchain Navarro Williams, David James, Attila Dahan, Yasha Harari, Utopia 569, Moonman High, XRP, Martin Stoyer, Nostromo, John Sarson, The Animal Reader, A Bibliophobia, Todd, Mullis, Adam, Graysick, Mohamaroni, Master Ventures in Thailand, Jared Schneider, Wise Night Owl, 242 to the World, Bankroll Network, Crypto Artist, Cold E3D, Damien, Setsuna, Richie Wish III, Vlad the Impaler, Paxesnik, Mangialavori, Jim Gardner, Jeremy Fox, Minting Coins, Miller Hitch Test Every Day, and Kyle Skips Leg Day, Yes to Crypto, Bodie McBoatface, Anytime Fitness, Monk's Corner Staff, Bake Me a Cake, Tigara Macho Nisa, On Crypto with Lionel, Crayola and Michelle, URL, and Bolero Bastos. Thank you all very, very much for your continued support. Thank you to all the new Patreon members. Thank you to everyone who left a like, has commented, has subscribed, is still here listening to me, helps out with the algorithm in any sort of way, or is a clicker of affiliate links. I do thank the heck out of thee. At the Memento, Bitcoin is currently at $36,326. It is up by 5.18%. There was a dip, somewhere over the course of the night, we have moved back up. Ethereum is currently up by 3.2% as well. Binance coin is up by 4. Cardano is up by 1. I assume it would be up by 5 or 6, but I assume the SundaeSwap thing. Why is anyone paying attention to that? As long as it doesn't actually affect the Cardano coin, it's totally fine. Everyone keeps making other coins based off of other coins that are then on other platforms' coins, and people assume that the original coin also has to be affected by that. As long as Cardano is still doing well, the coin should also still be going up too. Solana is also up by 8% at the moment. XRP is up by 2%. Luna is up by 2%. Polkadot is up by 7%. Avalanche is up by 7% as well. Cosmos is up by 17%. There was no Cosmos news. I'm going to assume later on today we should be getting some other type of cosmic news as to what exactly is happening with the price of the coin, but nothing at the moment. Crypto is up by 6.6. Litecoin is up by 4. Near Protocol is up by 5. These were the coins that I was telling you earlier were up between 6 to 12%. Now they're up a lot further, but it was really weird just seeing everything up by exactly 12. I was like, okay. OKB is up by 14%. Phantom is up by 17. FTT is up by 6. Lumens is up by 5%. Internet Computer, best name ever, is up by 9% as well. VeChain Thor is up by 11 percentile points. Axie Infinity is up by 5. Elron eGold is up by 12%. Sandbox is up by 5. Tezos is up by 7. Helium is up by 9%, and still no IOTA. I didn't even hold IOTA. I just want to see it back in the top 50 because they tried so hard. I do hope that you've all enjoyed. I do hope that you, really have, because the world is, there's a lot going on all the time. I hope that you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope that it is absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, supporting, watching, and I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See